This video is about why your Klaviyo campaigns, your dynamic email campaigns, are underperforming and you don't actually know that this is happening. This is going on right under your noses. And a lot of business owners, even a lot of CMOs, a lot of digital directors, digital marketers, they do not understand the significance of email marketing and the role that it plays in today's e-commerce. It doesn't matter B2B or B2C, in today's e-commerce marketplace. And you don't have to be on Klaviyo. You could be on Klaviyo, Attentive, Klaviyo, ActiveCampaign, HubSpot, OmniSend. It doesn't really matter what platform you're running. I would go ahead and say that over 95% of brands that do millions of dollars in annual revenue are doing it wrong, and here is why. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about deliverability. We're going to talk about segmentation. We're going to talk about the funnels and the flows that actually bring in paying customers. Doesn't matter if you're B2B or B2C. We're going to talk about the technology, the tech staff of what happens in the background with the pixels and everything else, with the pop-ups. And finally, we're going to talk about what actually drives conversions and how you can create different funnels and flows for how your customer base actually engages and interacts with your website. The first part is deliverability. Deliverability is the silent killer, and a lot of people are doing a lot of different types of email marketing, and they send emails to tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, sometimes millions of people, and they don't realize that majority of their emails, 40–50% of their emails, are going to the spam folder. When you go to the spam folder, you simply die. And it does not matter if you're using Klaviyo or HubSpot or Klaviyo or ActiveCampaign. This is happening across the board. You hit send and you think that your email is going to 50,000 people. It's not. That's why you see the click-through rates that are suffering. You basically see the conversion rates that are suffering because the email copy is not optimized. You have a bunch of spam keywords on your email copy. You cannot say act now. You cannot say save. You cannot mention anything about money. These will automatically go to the spam folder, and a lot of people don't know this, but there is a way to rewrite that copy. There is a way to redesign that HTML so that it's actually deliverability friendly. Majority of the servers of systems like Klaviyo, Klaviyo, Attentive, HubSpot, ActiveCampaign, the servers are good, the servers are clean, the IPs are not blocked, but a lot of people don't realize that the infrastructure is just part of not going to the spam folder. Then you have to send the right copy to the right people, and you have to send it in the right format. A lot of people don't understand that. For example, we have welcome flows that we send. We usually send 6 to 10 welcome flows when we have somebody that opts in through a pop-up or through a 10% or 20% off discount code. These welcome emails need to be sent in a specific manner. If you send one every single day, they're gonna opt out. They're gonna mark it as spam. If you send one each week, it's not frequent enough, they're gonna forget about you. And also remember the fact that people get thousands of these types of emails, so it needs to be really, really targeted to them. The subject line needs to be targeted, the copy needs to be targeted. You need to pay attention to intent triggers when they're on your website and they are browsing through the different sections of your site and different engagement metrics. We have to really, really pay attention to this. So when we send these welcome emails, usually on email 4, 5, or email 8, we'll put a text-only format of that copy. It doesn't have HTML, it doesn't have graphic, it doesn't have images, it's just text format. Why do we do that? We do that to maximize deliverability because sometimes the spam folders of ISPs or sometimes the settings for the individual email recipient could be too harsh, so we're trying to see which one passes through. And it's really easy to fix deliverability issues. You just send it from a legitimate server with a legitimate IP that is most of the time ideally not shared. You send the right copy to the right people in the right format and you will fall into the inbox folder. And that's 50% of your job, simple. Once you fall into the inbox folder, then the second thing is you want to make sure they don't hit the spam button. Because if they do that, then you're blocked forever. A lot of people do not realize this. If somebody spams you once, you're gone, you're out. You will never fall into the inbox again. So you have to be very, very careful with that aspect. So the first thing that we do at Optimum 7 when we take on a campaign like this or a project like this is we fix the deliverability issues. We do testing. We have our own emails and own servers of thousands of emails. So I'll send a test copy to these 1,000 emails on 5 different email providers, and I'll see which ones are going to spam, what percentage is going to spam, are there any keywords, etc., etc. And for anybody, we could actually do this. If you're watching this video, I can, in the next 5 to 10 minutes, test your entire email infrastructure and your deliverability for you and tell you what percentage of your emails are exactly going into the inbox folder. Once you identify the deliverability issues and you fix them, the second step is segmentation. 95% of people don't do this. They're like, we have 80,000 people on our list, we're gonna send it to all. That's group one. The group two is people who think they're doing segmentation, but they're not. They're like, oh, here are all the people that abandoned the cart on Shopify. That's not a segment, that's very simple, that's very easy to do, that's automated. When you segment, you have to make sure that you look at your top best sellers that people are looking at. You need to look at your highest margin products. You need to look at your lowest performing products. What is your website audience engaging with, and how are you sending these emails? I'll give you an example. A lot of people from an engagement standpoint, a lot of marketers are looking at, well, how many opens did I have? How many did I send? What's the click-through rate? What's the conversion rate? That's the segment. That's not enough. What we do is we will break down an email into 10, 15 different sections. We'll put probably 3 to 5 calls to action on one email, and we'll literally break down which section the email recipient is clicking on to see their engagement levels. That's how we do it. And the reason that we do this is somebody opting in is not enough. I need to know when I send an email, where are they clicking? They're opening, nice. They're clicking on it, nice. But where are they clicking? Why are they clicking on that? If I'm sending millions of emails, I have the option to create hundreds of segmentation points from the hundreds of emails that I've sent out to really suck out that juice, that conversion, find that person that wants to receive the email and wants to see a specific copy on the email and wants to click and wants to purchase. Now, this is the email segmentation part. The other part is the website segmentation part. Any one of these systems, Klaviyo, Attentive, it doesn't matter what you're using, they have a technology where they track every single action on your website, because you have to insert a tracking code, and through that tracking code, they know that John comes to your site and clicks on product A and goes and clicks on add to cart, and then after that he goes to add to cart, he goes to checkout, he enters his email, and then he doesn't complete purchase. Klaviyo or other email systems out there know what the user is doing, so that's a segmentation opportunity for you. We can do something like, and I'm just gonna tell you one of thousands of email ideas. I can say, well, look at my website and look at everybody who visited my website for the past 30 days over 5 times and they did not opt in. I can show them a specific pop-up, very aggressive, to make them opt in, because these are engaged users and I don't have their email addresses, I don't have their SMS, their phone numbers. So there is a way to, number one, suck out the email addresses and the SMS phone numbers from users that are engaging with your website that refuse to give you that information. And step two, there is a way to, once you get that information, suck out the revenue, the orders, the clicks from people who receive your emails, but reading your emails, but they're not engaging, right? So we can create these different segments simultaneously, by the way, for both groups, and then attack from a standpoint of this dynamic execution. It's dynamic, so I don't have to go and recreate an audience, The system is automated. The funnels and flows that we create, and we usually create 11 flows and 55 emails to build this infrastructure, and then we create a campaign calendar, an email campaign calendar for the next 6 months, so that we know exactly what email we're going to send and why we are sending that email. It's not just, hey, welcome, cool, come, here's our story. It's not just that. There's gotta be a deeper purpose behind your email marketing strategy. And when we look at these Klaviyo accounts that do millions of dollars, from just Klaviyo, from just email, from just attentive, we look at it and we go crazy. We're like scratching our heads. Like, you're only getting 10% of your revenue from email. You should be getting at least 40 to 45% of your revenue from email. And the reason that is everything is on autopilot. Your email agency is bullshitting you. Your email expert is bullshitting you. Your email manager is bullshitting you. Your digital marketing company agency is bullshitting you. Like, oh, look at all the reports that we gave. No, what segmentation did you build? What did you actually hit? What is the ROI on that email sent? How many emails did you send? What is the revenue per email? What is the new client acquisition per email? None of these metrics are there, and this is the problem with the current segmentation options. If you just set up Klaviyo or Attentive or Omnisend or HubSpot or ActiveCampaign and it's just autopiloting, you're leaving millions of fucking dollars on the table. And a lot of people don't even realize that. And I could scream this out to everybody, like, we need more leads, we need more sales. You don't need more traffic. You have the leads, you have the sales. You don't need more traffic, you already have the traffic. You have 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, 1 million customers opted into your email systems. You don't know how to leverage. And once we complete the segmentation part, then we go into the buyer behavior. The buyer behavior is very, very significant because everybody buys for different reasons and for different perspectives. To map the buyer types to behaviors, you have to understand the psychology of your customer base. You have to really nail down your ideal customer profile, and you have to nail down your super consumer profile, because if you do not do this, you're just marketing blindly, you're sending these emails blindly. You think something is working, but it's actually not working. Most brands treat their Klaviyo or their email customer base like a bunch of faceless subscribers. They don't even assign or attach personas to different segments. They don't actually map out the buyer journey. That's not how we work. Your audience, your subscriber base is a mix of different types of people. You have the comparison junkie that cross-references 5 different tables from 5 different brands, from 5 different prices before he makes a decision to purchase anything. You have the emotional buyer who jumps into limited edition products at 2 a.m. in the morning. You have the data-driven prepper who looks at all specs and reliability of a product before they purchase. And you have your loyal customers who are gonna buy from you regardless because they just love your brand and your story, and they're already at the bottom funnel and they're just gonna continue to buy from you again and again and again. These are different types of buyers. You cannot send the same email to all your buyer personas. That is simply stupid. We have access to what your subscriber base is clicking on every day. We have access to what emails they have reacted to, opened, clicked on. We have access to what products they have looked at. We have access to which items they have added to cart. We have access to which items they have purchased. We have access to which pages they have exited from. Like, we have access to everything. Why would you do something so shitty and expect 40, 50% of your revenue to come from your email and have the audacity to say, I need more traffic, I need more leads, I need more sales? The sales are sitting right there. You just don't know how to get them. And the revenue impact of the segmentation is insane. When we are done with this level of implementation, we see brands that are doing $100,000 a month from Klaviyo or email, and literally within 90 days, they start doing 200, 250, 300,000. They're 2Xing, 3Xing, 4Xing their email revenues because now they're communicating with their subscribers, they're communicating with their audience in an effective manner that actually converts. Nobody uses these systems as dynamic revenue generation engines. They just use it as a tool to send emails. No, these systems are a lot more complicated than that. These systems are a lot more advanced than that. So what we do at Optimum 7 is we build these flows that don't just nurture, they convert hard. We know how to move somebody from the unaware stage to the most aware stage. We know how to move a subscriber from, maybe I'll buy from you, to I love this brand stage. And this is literally what it takes. There's a technical component to it, and there's also copywriting component to it. There is marketing component to it. Somebody who does not understand marketing at a deeper level cannot do your email marketing, because they're just gonna do a bunch of tasks and they're gonna screw up and burn your email list with millions of people. And this is what happens. Most teams run their Klaviyo campaigns in a very reactive fashion. It's a fire drill. Oh, we gotta send an email today. Oh, we gotta send a special today. Oh, we gotta send a copy today. And business owners and directors are guilty of this because you're just checking off a task. This is not how email marketing is supposed to be done. It's supposed to be planned. It's supposed to be strategic. It's supposed to be action-driven from a data standpoint. It's supposed to be from a segmentation preview. It's supposed to have an objective. I'm gonna send this email to 100,000 people. 20,000 of those people should click. Out of the 20,000 people, I should get a 1% conversion, which is 200 orders. And the 200 orders is going to make me $20,000. After 90 days, we know exactly what numbers we're gonna get from the emails that we send out. It's not an experiment. And people don't realize this. Every single email that you send from Klaviyo, Attentive, HubSpot, ActiveCampaign, is a data signal. Every single email is acquiring more and more data. Your customer base is telling you more about what they prefer. And you're not paying attention to this data. So the agility of the planning of the email campaigns and strategies is very, very important. We analyze each campaign in detail because we already broke down the email copy and how the copy is sent and what the copy is supposed to do, where the call to actions are, where the buttons are. Imagine an email and you're looking at this email and you're saying, if they click here, that's a 5% engagement rate. If they click here, that's a 10% engagement rate. If they click on this main call to action, it is 50% engagement rate, because that's what I want them to do in the first place. And you look at the engagement metrics, and on a per user basis, you track how much they're engaging based on the email that you're sending. And then you take all of that data, and there's an AI-driven, AI-powered side of this where we analyze all of this data and we basically build out the next set of campaigns depending on the current data that we've gotten from this campaign. It needs to be done at this level. It can't be done with just open rate, click-through rate, conversion rate. No, these are just 3 data points. I collect hundreds of different data points from hundreds of different clicks and hundreds of different scrolls on the website. The next thing that a lot of experts do not pay attention to is the pop-ups. You can have hundreds of different types of pop-ups, and you should have hundreds of different types of pop-ups based on every segmentation metric that you have already identified. So if somebody comes to my site 5 times in the past 7 days and they don't buy anything or they don't convert into a customer, I'm gonna show them a different type of pop-up. If somebody is coming 10 times to my site and they're already opted in, I'm gonna be like, welcome, John. My pop-up should have their first name. Why does it not personalize? Klaviyo has this technology. Shopify has this technology. Ecommerce has this technology. Why don't you identify who's coming back to your site and give them a very customized message? Hey, John, you purchased this last time. Are you looking for this again? Look, we have this here as well. Amazon does this. Walmart does this. The different types of shopping apps and comparison sites do this. Why can't you do it? The technology is there. And again, many people look at pop-ups and they say dumb shit like, I don't want to give 10% off. Who cares if you give 10% off? You don't want to give 10% off because you're giving that to everybody. You're not supposed to give 10% off to somebody who comes to your site and who's already gonna purchase. That's stupid. You're just giving away 10%. No, you wanna give 10% off to people who are engaging on your website who haven't bought from you. That's who you wanna give 10% off to. So every time I go to a site and I see a pop-up for 10%, I'm like, I just got here. Maybe I was gonna buy from you without the 10%. Maybe I don't care about the 10%. You just gave me 10% of your revenue for no reason at all. Why? Because they are not segmenting. They are not segmenting the most engaged, the least engaged. They're not segmenting the most converting, the least converting. They are not even paying attention to where I'm clicking on the website. If I go to your site and the first thing that I look at is your return policy, I might not be the great buyer. If I go to your site and the first thing that I look at is your reviews, that's a different kind of signal. If I go to your site and the first thing is I go to search and search for a very specific product with a product code or SKU, I'm a buyer. I'm looking for the SKU, which means I either bought it before or I have bought it from somebody else. So you have to segment everything in this manner and watch the money grow. In conclusion, what we do at Optimum 7 is we turn your Klaviyo, your Attentive, your ActiveCampaign, your HubSpot, your OmniSend into a money-generating machine. And I know that that's a little bit spammy, but I'm saying that for a specific reason. It really becomes a money-generating machine. I'm not selling a course. I'm not selling some bullshit 10-step execution. I'm not selling $99 courses. What I sell is tens of thousands of dollars that generate millions of dollars in revenue. So I get to say that. I get to say this is a money-generating machine. Because our edge is not just the technology, is not that we rely heavily on AI to draft these emails and to analyze this data. It's not the technology stack that we use. It's not how good our email designs are. It's not how good the copy is. It's a combination of everything that I talked about, which is the hyper-segmentation, the hyper-personalization, and us understanding your business, your products, your ideal customer profile, your super consumer profile at a very deep level, and understanding how your buyers and why your buyers buy from you. That's the formula here that gives us millions of dollars over and over again with clients that we have, with personal brands that we run from email marketing. If your brand is doing over a few $1 million in annual revenue, and if you're still autopiloting your Klaviyo, your OmniSend, your Attentive, your Target Pay, whatever system you're using, you need to have a conversation with us because you're leaving millions of dollars on the table. This is not only about what you're losing today. Imagine the 100 customers that you're supposed to get this month that you don't get for the next 6 months. How much of a revenue loss is that? A lot of business owners can't make this math. I don't know how. It's like you're missing on future opportunity and future revenue, which is the most important type of revenue and opportunity. Contact us today.